Hey all, welcome to Monday. Welcome to Countdown Day. And as voted on by fans this week, we're going to be taking a look at the top 10 least liked combiners. Combiners are pretty popular within Transformers in a lot of iterations, both official and third party, and in a lot of fiction. But that doesn't mean they're all winners. This will be, as I said, the top 10 least liked Transformers combiners. That's our focus this time around in the latest GotBot Counts Down. Hey all, welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, your most humble of hosts, Dennis Moulton, aka GotBot. As always, please like, comment, share, of course subscribe, and while you're at it, light 'em up, baby. Hit that notification bell, please. It helps me out a ton and lets you know when content of all sorts goes up here on the channel. Check out Machinery of Man, The Everything Factor, all the groups that I'm either a mod or an admin for, as well as all of my social media links. All of that is in the description down below. Also in the description down below. And if you're in a position to help the channel to grow, you can use the donate link. Check us out on Patreon. See what we have to offer to you through spring. Or, of course, hit the join button at any given time and become a channel member. I'm going to clear this out of the way now, right away, before people ask, because a bunch of people have been asking over the last week or so. I had a block of videos that got deleted. I am re-uploading them. Everything is back in order now, except for about 9 or 10 previous countdowns. So if over the next few days you see countdowns and you're like, hey, didn't you already do that one, GotBot? Yes, I did. I'm just kind of re-uploading a block that got deleted. Technology happens, right? Life happens. It is what it is. But this countdown is the current one, is the new one for May the 13th, 2024. So this is the brand new one. This is the focus one. This is the main one. And of course, we will have a new question this coming Wednesday that will take us through to midnight Friday only. But let's kick things off with our honorable mentions first. Remember, these are combiners that are not liked by voters. I might like them, you might like them, but these are the ones that most voters said that they don't like. Our honorable mentions, these did not make the list. They include RID 2015's Ultra B, which apparently is made up of the B team. I don't remember this. I'd have to go back and watch it. I can't say I don't totally remember. I vaguely remember it, but I don't remember how they actually combined or held together. I don't know if they encountered the enigma of combination or what, but Ultra B from 2015. Raiden, which I'm surprised about. I'd love a mainline Raiden. I mean, I'm not spending $1,000 on an MPG. I just give me like a Combiner Wars-ish Raiden. I'd be cool with that. Road Caesar, though I would love a Road Caesar. I mean, we have most of the G1 combiners in some form or fashion. I would love a Road Caesar. And Thea. A lot of people, man, did not like the Power of the Primes Fembots, did not like the Power of the Primes Elita 1. I did. I like her, and I know that to do those female characters, it was, the same mold, recolored, new head, slight remolding here and there. I get it, and I understand that a lot of people say that theirs is really flimsy. I don't find that with mine. Mine stands pretty well. She's always back on the shelf. Here's an example of I like Orthea, but a lot of fans didn't, at least enough that she was able to make the honorable mention. So those four, once again, RID 2015, Ultra B, Raiden, Road Caesar, and Orthea. They are honorable mentions. They did not make the list. Who did? You know what we're going to do. We're going to do as we always do and kick things off with number 10. You guessed it, first. Coming in at number 10, we have this guy. That's right, it's Monstructor. Now, this is actually the fans project version of Monstructor in the picture. Those that voted for Monstructor said, look, the original was too small for other combiners. He, wasn't in the cartoon. His color scheme is just too wild and out there. In North America, the Pretender shells are just goofy because they're monsters. Like, they already turn into monsters, and the little shells are also monsters. It's just too much monsters. That said, nobody voted for the Dino King version. And a couple of people, when I questioned them about it, said, yeah, Dino King is a more cohesive color. I agree. His shells are dinosaurs. I guess that's more acceptable than monsters. I don't know. And he did appear in fiction, that being Transformers Victory. That said, if you know the comic books, Monstructor is actually, like, he brings a lot of dread and woe. Like, he's a serious dude. I think that more than him being a least liked combiner, a poor combiner, if you will, I think that his biggest problem is that he's never been given time to shine. The closest that we've gotten for time to shine is probably the Fans Project version, because that's about the same size as kind of Combiner Wars era combiners and whatnot. It's just in the Monstructor colors. Monstructor, Goofy Monster, takes the number 10 slot. Number 9 is this. That's right, it's Power of the Prime's Abominus. Now mine has some custom paint work done because I wanted him to look more animation accurate. I love this combiner personally. I think that Abominus was one of the best that they did, and I certainly think he's the cleanest. People that voted for him said Abominus is just a lumbering buffoon who has no intelligence whatsoever as a character, and when it comes to the actual combiner, again, he's just made up of these goofy made-up monsters, and it's hard to take him seriously when his alt modes are 100% unrealistic. I don't know if they, I don't know if they're any more or less realistic than any of the other weird alt modes that we sometimes get. By the way, we did do a countdown of weirdest alt modes before, some time ago, a long time ago. But that's what people said, and who am I to argue? Abominus from Power of the Primes takes the number 9 slot. Number 8 is very short and sweet, and it's this guy. That's right, it's Defensor, and people were very, very straightforward on why they voted for him. They said having a motorcycle leg is idiotic because it would be wildly too small compared to the other, I guess, vehicles. Some people who said, hey, Rook is fine to have in there and make the motorcycle a chest like they did in Combiner Wars. That's okay, but he's just boring. Defensor is just one of those combiners, and the Protectobots are just one of those teams that, like, here's your gimmick, you're there, but you don't really do anything for anyone. Boring, with a useless motorcycle leg. That's what all the voters said, and that's why Defensor takes the number 8 slot. Number 7 breaks my heart, because number 7 is this guy. That's right, it's Computron. Anybody who doesn't know will know now that Computron is my, by far, favorite combiner. He is the only one who strategizes, who thinks things through, who plans. Yeah, I get it, he's slow and methodical, but I like that. Slow and steady wins the race. And usually, in battle, even though he's methodical, he wins because he outmaneuvers his opponents. Everybody else just goes in blasting. No strategy, no finesse. However, voters that voted for Computron said that he was boring. The exact reasons I love him are the exact reasons that voters don't like him. I gotta go with the voters. I adore him, but Computron took the number 7 slot. Number 6 is this guy. That's right, it is Bruticus. Specifically, the Fall of Cybertron Bruticus. To be fair, some people just said Bruticus, and a couple of people said the Combiner Wars Bruticus because of the proportions, although I like the proportions on Combiner Wars Bruticus. But the vast majority, almost everybody that voted for Bruticus, voted for the Fall of Cybertron Bruticus, and a lot of them even said he has a tolerable in-game model where the proportions are okay, but how that translated to what we got in Generations in 2012, 2013 is baffling. And a lot of people said not only are the colors of the mainline one way off, but then the G2 repaint is just as wild in coloration, and then there was like a Platinum edition that's closest to the game. But even then, you have the fatal flaw of a deluxe torso that really probably should have been Voyager at the very least, and there is a third-party Voyager option out there. Again, you have to remember the era that this combiner came out in. The economy was really bad and still in recovery from almost the second Great Depression in 2008. So a lot of cost cutting was done just to survive at the time. And this guy suffered for it. I kind of like this Bruticus, but I'm not going to pretend that it's a good one. In fact, I had to get a second onslaught because the first one straight up broke. Yes, Fall of Cybertron Bruticus. The potential was there for something great. The execution just didn't pan out. And he takes the number 6 slot. And now a hush falls over the crowd because we've reached the ever coveted, ever popular halfway mark. And at the halfway mark, we have this guy. That's right, it's Superion. And people that voted for him said the G1 Superion is pretty darn bad because his legs are so skinny and he looks so weird. It just looks so bad. I mean, it's an aesthetic thing, but I get it, and a lot of people said that. And then a lot of people said, just in general, he's made up of 4 limbs that are planes that all really just have a boring plane on their back. Even in the animation model, like the plane doesn't really go hidden very well. And then when you put them together in kind of any modern era, you kind of have 4 limbs that all look exactly the same pretty much, with all the same alt mode pretty much. Although I don't know if I necessarily agree with that. I get what voters are saying. I don't know if I necessarily agree with it. This is the Takara one. I mean, in the North American one, at the very least, if you want something different, you could always stick in Alpha Bravo. You know, at least the guy was a helicopter. Skinny legs, though with the Combiner Wars, I find putting the blasters on the thighs really does help bulk up the legs. But skinny legs and an overall boring look for the aerial bots when they combine. All conspired to make Superion the number 5 least liked combiner. Number 4 surprised me because it's this guy. That's right, it's Devastator, G1 Devastator. And a lot of people said, look, G1 Devastator has been revisioned many, many times in many, many ways. Some of them successful, some of them not. Some of them with better proportions than others, some of them not. And some of them with better shades of green and purple, and some of them not. But one thing that you can't deny is that as imposing and dominating as Devastator was supposed to be, he was exactly 0 victories overall in his plights against the Autobots, although he really did give the Dinobots in the 86 movie quite the run for their money indeed. I get it though, at the end of the day, Devastator hasn't really succeeded in any victory. Won some battles, has never been able to win the war. A lot of people said, because of that, G1 Devastator became more like an overhyped menace than an actual threat. And for that reason, he takes the number 4 slot. Number 3 is this guy, Menasor. And you know what? People kind of voted with the same reasoning here. And it was twofold. People voted and said they found the Combiner Wars 1 a mess. And I admit, unless you fix the torso like I did, and make it solid, like I did, yeah, he's a mess. But it's very easy to fix the torso. You drill a couple of holes through the wind vanes, you put a couple of 5mm pegs in there, you put his arms in there. The forearms, you either build up the little peg that goes in on the side of the chest, or you do what I did, and you put the Battlecore Optimus forearms on the lower arm and paint them silver. Arms hold in fine. I didn't have the issue with the hip ratchets that a lot of people did. Mine have been fine. So, for me, the Combiner Wars Menasor is fine. He's solid. But I did have to do some work on him, so I understand the gripes if you didn't do the work on him straight out of package, for sure. A lot of people said the G1 and the Legacy suffer from the same problem. It's just it's just Motormaster wearing clothes. Like, even in the G1 animation, the cars are just on the arms and on the legs. They are not the arms or the legs. And a lot of people said Menasor is the least liked combiner because at the end of the day, in most of his iterations, he's actually not a combiner. He's just a dude wearing colorful clothes. I personally agree, and for that reason, Menasor takes the number 3 slot. Number 2 takes us to the live action universe, and this guy. That's right, it is a Studio Series Devastator, really. It's the Revenge of the Fallen Devastator, right? But it's the Studio Series iteration. And a lot of people said the same thing, like, he looks wild. And he does look wild. But a lot of people said in the actual film, he looks wild, but he's like a wild animal. Like, he's a lumbering wild animal. He's clumsy, he's clunky. He, is able to destroy things, but like, he has no defense mechanisms because he has no intelligence. He's just a berserker. And I agree with that. And translating that into either the original kind of combiner at the time in 2009, where we just had the vehicles that became the combined mode, or the Studio Series version, or one of the KOs of the Studio Series version, or even the Devil Savior version. All of them suffer the same problem. The design is so wild, so out there, that it just poorly translates into anything. The Constructicons look like a hodgepodge mess, and the combined form looks like a hodgepodge mess. And in the case of the Studio Series, if you do it according to the instructions, he can't even really get on all fours like he was in the movie. A lot of problems with Revenge of the Fallen Devastator, at least according to fans, and he takes the number 2 slot. Tippy top #1 least liked combiner is this guy. Volcanicus. In any and all of his forms, Volcanicus. And the reasoning is simple, and every single vote, by the way, #1 won by a landslide, and everybody that voted for #1 said the exact same thing. Dinobots are cool because they're Dinobots. They don't need to combine. Their whole gimmick is that they're dinosaurs that are robots. And that alone is cool. I said it with Power of the Primes. I even said it with the Black Mamba. I've said it with the third-party ones, and I've said it as recently as the Legacy Evolution Little Lad. Stop making Dinobots combine. They don't need it. Voters agree in droves, and that's why Volcanicus takes the #1 slot. And there you go, we've gone from 10 down to 1 once again. Other ones that had votes along the way, Tripredicus had a vote. What else here? Victorion had a vote. Lynx Master, Skyrain, Predaking had 1 vote. The movie RC, apparently the trio do combine, who knew? The Minicon Assault Team, I think that they were called Centuritron, he had some votes. The Last Night Infernicus, Rise of the Beast, Snarl Saber, I don't really know that one. Energon Perceptor, Superion Maximus, Constructicon Maximus. Somebody said Combaticon Maximus, I think they mean Bruticus Maximus. The Toy World version of Volcanicus. What else do we have here? Armada Jet powered Optimus Prime. Reflector. King Poseidon, or Piranacon, if you will. 2001 Landfill, Power Core Combiners Double Clutch, Energon Mega Dinobot, Optimus Maximus from Combiner Wars, Squawkbox, Lio Kaiser. That it? That it? Or do I have some more here that would kind of fit in right now? Landcross, did I say Landcross? Them and a few more. But you know what? Like, easily, you could see how the trend of voting was going to go. Volcanicus stole #1 and never ever let up. Maybe some of your favorite combiners made this list. Some of my favorites made this list. But it all boils down to what the fans think. It all boils down to what the voters think. It all boils down to what you think. I appreciate you guys coming by, giving me some of your extremely valuable time. I do know how important it is to you. If you're in a position to help the channel to grow, you can use the donate link, check us out on Patreon, see what we have to offer to you through spring, or of course, hit the join button at any given time and become a channel member while you are at it. Hit the subscribe button, stick around and have some fun with us here on the channel. And don't forget that somehow, some way, each and every single day, you right there, you do make a difference in the world. And I look forward to the next time that you and I get together to have another visit, either in the live streams on Thursday nights, at the stop motion premieres, or the old fashioned way right here inside the videos.